I'm back. My favorite pastime is talking about descendants. Let's go.
Come on, boys, get loud. When the music starts bumping, the whole place will be jumping. It's my scene, my scene. You know what I mean. It's my scene, you know what
Hey y'all, it's Harriyanna and I'm back with another video. Hello, my name is Harriyanna, and if you're new, welcome back to The Pirate Ship, also known as Harry Hook's Pirate Ship. Always remember, I am the captain. You are not my first mate. I don't got no first mate. Nobody's worthy of being the first mate. But hello, this is your first time ever seeing me. My name is Harriyanna, and I like to make content based off nostalgia and family and children's entertainment and all the issues that I find within those spaces, okay? So, y'all, I love doing these type of videos, okay? I love watching these videos and I love doing them, reacting to you guys' unpopular opinions. So I'll get on Twitter and I'll be like, hey, tell me your unpopular opinions on this show or movie, and I'll give them. So I did this with Descendants, and you guys, I didn't, by the way, when I do these, I don't look over them. Like, I just wanted to go into it with a blind reaction, so my reactions will be genuine. I won't, y'all know. But before we get started, I want to show y'all my wall because I want to stand while I make this video. And I just want y'all to see how great my wall looks. So, this, Donatello Ninja Turtle by Alex Ogle, Uraka, Jasmine, Black Uraka, Noodle from Gorillas, Huey as Deku, Riley as Bakugo, Mina, Deku, and Bakugo. I really love my wall, and I just wanna, if every time I stand in a video, I'm probably gonna show you guys my wall. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull up my phone. I think these might be my new favorite type of videos to do, reacting to you guys' unpopular opinions on shows, because y'all be coming. So I have the thread right here up on my phone. Follow me on Twitter, by the way, at Harriyanna. And let's go ahead and get started, okay? The decision to break down the barrier was dumb. I strongly agree, okay? It was completely invalidating because everything that had been worked on throughout the series, the kids should have been allowed to escape the situation that they were born in, but keep those negative influence of parents away. I strongly agree. I think it was stupid as fuck that all the villains ended up, everyone that was on that owl, only the kids were the only people that I think should have came to Oradon, because I think it was so, like, that's what I did in the Progenies. That was one thing about Descendants that always really bothered me. By the way, you guys don't know what the Progenies is. It's my Descendants fan series. Progenies means descendant, for those that tried to tell me I spelled the word prodigy wrong. Like, y'all are weird. But that's why when I did the Progenies, I made it to where the villain kids come to Oradon and all their parents stay their asses over there. Like, they show their asses. That's why they over there in the first place. Like, I thought that was just really stupid. And do they not realize that the crime rate is gonna go up? Like, Descendants 3 is just so bad and just so lazy. Like, was the writing crew really thinking that was gonna be a great idea? It wasn't. It was just stupid. A lot of stuff about it just didn't make sense with that third movie. It makes no damn sense how terrible the last Descendants movie is, okay? Descendants should have been animated. This whole time the sets are cute and giving old kid movie vibes, but animation would have fleshed out much better things if Mal got better in Wicked World. We got issues. Yeah, I agree. Descendants really should have been animated. It should have been animated movies, in my opinion. Like, so much of Descendants' downfall came from, like, the special effects, and people don't seem to get is that if you make something animated, you can get away a lot better with stuff that has to do with, like, magic and dragons and shit like that. And it's weird. That's one thing I don't get, is that Disney got all this money, but they still had so much stuff that looked really, really bad in Descendants. Like, one thing I didn't get about the Descendants movies is how the CGI ended up looking worse as it went on. And it's so obvious that they didn't know what to do with them wigs. Like, those wigs were not good. Those wigs looked a hot ass mess, okay? Y'all could have solved that problem if it was just animated, okay? But I feel like if Descendants if it wasn't live action, it wouldn't be as popular as it is now. Like, I do agree that Descendants should have been animated because it would have looked a lot better. but it would not have gotten the recognition that it has now. Like Sophia Carson, literally Descendants has done so much for these people's careers that are in this film, like Brenna, Sarah, Sophia Carson. We would not know them for who they are now if they didn't star in the live action Descendants. If they voice acted, they wouldn't be where they are now. Okay, that's just something that in the industry people just gotta understand. Like the consumers, why do y'all think live action actors, like people that act on screen, why do y'all think they get more followers than voice actors? Okay, they get live action face cam stuff, it gets people more attention than just voiceover stuff. That's just like the truth. I know it's just like that too. People on the internet that put their face out there on the internet, they got more followers than people that don't put their face out there on the internet. Okay, Descendants literally would not have been that popular if it was animated. I'm just keep it as that. The first Descendants color grading bothered me. There are so many colors to look at, but since they didn't turn up the saturation, the colors look very muted. They fixed it in the sequels though. I do agree. The coloring was weird in the first movie. It's like they were trying to go for like a dreamy look. That's what it felt like in the first film. It was weird because it was just so many colors going on at one time, and I think they just kind of got overwhelmed with it, so it just kind of muted everything. It was really odd. I get what you're saying. Y'all know I'm always here for Mal Burke the slander. Okay, Mal should not have been in a relationship. What she needed is therapy and unlearn her toxic traits. This applies to both canon and non-canon ship, because she's either a traitor, bad friend, liar, or bully to every character people ship her with. I strongly agree. Like, I don't ship Malby because Mal did not deserve Evie. She was not a good friend to Evie whatsoever. She was a word to Uma. Her and Harry freaking hates her because of the way she treat Uma. Carlos didn't like her. If y'all read the book, y'all would know Carlos didn't like her because he bullied her. And Jake tolerated her because they were just as bad as each other. Mal shouldn't have been with nobody to begin with, because Mal didn't need a relationship. She needed therapy. Like you said, she just needed help. That girl, Mal... One thing that irritates me so much is that I didn't really mind Mal in the first movie, but seeing how she just got progressively worse in the second and the third, and she suffered no consequences for her actions, not only reeks of white privilege, but it's just like bad writing too. Like, it's just not, it just wasn't it. Mal didn't need a relationship. And one thing that got on my nerves about Descendants in general is that they felt the need to keep trying to put everybody in a relationship or pair them up with somebody. Not all kids need to be in a relationship. Not all kids want to be in a relationship. Descendants, a lot of this is about kids trying to find themselves, okay? They grew up in the freaking ghetto and now they are in a better place, and they have to learn so much. They have to unlearn a lot of their toxic behaviors. That's what Jay, Carlos, and Evie did, and they gotta learn to adapt to their new lifestyle. Like, Descendants could have been so much more if it had a lot better writing. Just because Descendants was a Disney Channel movie didn't give it an excuse to be bad. It would have been much more interesting if Jay was Aladdin and Jasmine's son. That's an interesting take. He would have been stolen as a baby by Jafar, since kidnapping isn't rare in this world, and later revealed down the line he's actually royalty. That would have given his character more story. It would have made his character complex and struggling with his identity of growing up as a VK, but actually born as an AK and supposed to have grown up all alone. Also, this discovery would have shook up the group a bit. That's great. That's honestly a very interesting storyline right there. I like the way you think. But I completely get what you're saying. A lot of Descendants has to do with bad writing, okay? It's annoying because I get what you're saying. Like, a lot of people like to do rewrites for Jay. I have a Jay Descendant story that I really need to update. Jay is just a character, in my opinion, that was just there to look pretty. He didn't do nothing. They could have done so much more with his character, but they did not want to. Like, everybody seems to love Jay and talk about Jay's one of the best characters in Descendants. He's not. Y'all like Boo Boo Stewart, not Jay. Like, that's just the hardcore truth right there. They didn't know what to do with him, and it showed poorly, okay? Like, that right there would have been a great storyline right there. But y'all know they didn't know how to write. One thing, okay, hold on, this is just a rant because this is something that I went off about in my last 2 unpopular opinion videos. Why are there so many bad writers in Hollywood? It does not make sense why people who are trying so hard to get into this field of work can write better stories than y'all. People who write Miraculous Ladybug fanfiction write better than Miraculous Ladybug writers themselves. People who write Descendants fanfiction write better Descendants fanfiction than the writers themselves. People who write Total Drama fanfiction write better than the Total Drama writers themselves. That's just something that I don't get. How are people that are actually getting paid to do this doing such a poor job, but people who doing this because they are genuinely passionate about it and make little to no money off of making fan fiction, how are they writing better? That's just something that I don't get. Like, is the industry just filled with nepotism? Like, people that really got the job because they know somebody and they're not all that talented and they're all that passionate about it? Like, that's just something I don't get. The movies have no continuity, I agree. It would jump all over the place and feel incomplete. So many plot holes too. Yeah, even though like the first part, because that's obvious, that's just the first part. The first 3 movies, as we know, they're gonna make 2 more Descendants movies later on. That right there, it still don't feel done. Like, the first movie was kind of like the only one, in my opinion, that actually felt like the story kind of ended a bit and then we moved on to the next piece. Okay, the second movie, it felt like a lot of, like, y'all know the movies where you watch it and then I recently watched a movie with Kiki that was like this, but you get to like the last 10 minutes of it and it feels like there should still be 40 minutes left. That's exactly how I feel about the second and the third movie. It was a whole bunch of jumping around all over the place to where when it was time for it to finally end, nothing was making sense. Like, I've said this numerous times, just because these movies are made for kids does not give an excuse to be bad. I think that's the reason why they made Descendants so bad in the first place, because they knew the intended audience was going to be for children. No, children deserve good stuff too. What'd you say? Oh, my sister downstairs watching Miraculous Ladybug and she's screaming. Wait, which episode is it? Oh, no. It's Miracle Queen, no. Yeah, it's just annoying. And also, another thing about the continuity thing that gets on my nerves is that they made it look like the first 3 Descendants movies took place over 3 years, and then we find out this shit takes place over 1 year. Like, a lot of stuff is just not making sense. And it's weird because the characters look different in all 3 of them, like they aged. Like, I don't get it. As much as I dislike Canon Mal, she did deserve better than just sticking to her unhealthy coping mechanism and should have been mentioned to go to therapy along with the other VKs or something along, instead of forcing herself into a very serious relationship she wasn't ready to commit yet. I agree. I don't think Ben and Mal should have got together because, like I said, I'm tired of people that... Okay, one thing I get is that a lot of people be talking about they want to get in a relationship because they want the other person to fix them. If you gotta depend on one person to fix you, then they're not a therapist. They are not there to help you. That's one thing that really got on my nerves about Descendants in general, is how they force almost every character to have some type of romantic interest into somebody. Mal didn't need a boyfriend. Mal needed help. Mal needed therapy, okay? Like, Mal... I can't believe I'm saying, like, I always say that Mal deserves nothing and things like that, but Mal is just a product of really, really bad writing and white privilege. I will forever stand by that too, okay? Like, she just, so much of what she did was extremely horrible, but it's not really, it is Mal's fault, but like I said, Descendants has really terrible writing, and a lot of Mal's downfall just came from them thinking, like, oh, she did that, but it's okay because this and that and the third. Like, the writers just let Mal get away with too much fuckery, and I just, that don't sit too good with me. It's white privilege. It's just white privilege. Mal rigged white supremacy, y'all. Like, okay. I'm actually excited for those new Descendants films, especially since it's likely to be a new group of kids. It has the potential to be much better than the first 3. I agree. A lot of people are like mad that they're making 2 more Descendants movies, and like I've said this before, but like there are numerous productions out here where a cast member dies or a crew member dies, like somebody important. There's a lot of that stuff where they die and they keep on going the story. That's just how Hollywood works. So I wasn't really surprised that Descendants was gonna come back. I personally am excited for these next 3 movies, like I said, these movies aren't made for us. We're not kids, y'all. Okay, these movies are made for children, but I hope the children get a better movie. Okay, the first 3 movies, as much as I love the first Descendants movie, that literally is one of my favorite movies of all time, one of my top 11 movies ever. Okay, I can admit that it has so many issues in it. The second and the third movie, they just lack so much for me. They just didn't live up to the expectation of the first one, in my opinion, because the last 2 were just so all over the place. And it, like I said, it felt like when it ended there should have been like 30 more minutes left, because nothing was really like fleshed out all that much. The Descendants movies need work. Like, they need a lot of work, and I feel like with Descendants 4 and Descendants 5, it's gonna get that work that it needs. And you know what, it might have to focus on new characters, because I'm pretty sure that they're not gonna focus it on the core 4 and the C3. We are gonna see new kids from Descendants. Descendants needs work. Like, people mad about them making more Descendants movies. No, we need more Descendants movies, because those first 3 are not great. Like, I say the first one for the most part, but the last two in my opinion were trying so hard to be better than the first movie, and that ended up being its real downfall.
Last time that I saw you, it was heaven. You said that you got off around 7. I guess that I'm just a fool. The marks on your face leaves me to stomp in pace. I don't know where you've been and why your hair is.
I know you're tired of having crusty ass lips. Wearing a mask all the time gives you no excuse. Head over to harriyannahook.com. Oh, you don't want that? Well, she has a bunch of other things to choose from. Don't worry. Pick yourself up something super cute, because you're like super cute and stuff.
Okay, Descendants would have been so much better as a regular teen series. I strongly agree. I think Descendants would have worked better as a show instead of a movie, and they proved that it could work better as a show with the second season of Wicked World. I think the second season of Descendants Wicked World is so good. I think people should watch it. I highly recommend it. It's on YouTube. Just type in Descendants Wicked World Part 3 and Descendants Wicked World Part 4, and you'll see that it does work better as a show, in my opinion. It's just they didn't really... I'm more into shows now than movies, in my opinion, because a lot of movies, TV is proven that movies can be, like, storylines can be fleshed out a lot better if they have more time, okay? Like, Descendants, honestly, I think the first season, like the first movie, I still have my issues with it, but it could have been told better if it was fleshed out over about like 6 or 7 episodes. Like, I think Descendants should have had like about like 30 episodes, in my opinion. Like, the first 3 movies, it would have worked out better if it was chopped up into like 3 episodes. It would have worked out much better as a show, because they could have done so much more with it. But you gotta remember that, like, that we most likely wouldn't have the same cast, okay? Because shows take a lot more commitment than they do movies. Like, you'll do a movie for 2 months and then you can go on about your life. With a show, you're like dedicating like probably 8 months out of your year to that show, and then if it get renewed, you got like 2 months off, and then you got to come back to doing that show. It's kind of hard to balance that too, though. So Descendants most likely would not have the same cast if it was a television show, if it was animated. That's just like a thought. I love the actor, but I absolutely hated Hades and his arc in D3. He was so irrelevant. Anyway, let's continue. The guy left his baby and his ex-wife, even a grown-ass man like him couldn't stand. Didn't ignore her for 16 years and switched up when she became useful for his way out. Hades didn't even need it for plot otherwise. Hades, really don't like what they did with Hades in this movie. They made him a deadbeat dad, like they did with like a lot of like the parents in Descendants too, okay? Like the villains for the most part. I understand that the villains, the thing I don't get about the villains is that, like, I don't like how all of their parents were horrible to them. Like, there are horrible people out here that are good parents to their children. Like, I watched the ID Discovery Channel, okay? That's one thing that always kind of got on my nerves, and that really did annoy me, how they just kind of Hades was just not it in this movie. He didn't really serve a purpose. He was just relevant in that movie for like 20 minutes and then he just wasn't there no more. Hades was just, Descendants Hades is just not a good character. Hades and Hercules is an amazing character. Hades in this version right here is not good. And also speaking of like Hades storyline, they could have done so much more with that about how he left his I don't know if they were married, but he left his baby mama and his baby for nothing. Like, it's just weird. And I don't really like, I still don't like how they made Hades, Maleficent's baby daddy. I really didn't like that. Like, it was just sloppy. It felt like they were just trying to do stuff for like shock value here. Like, that's what that felt like, okay? Like, what were we supposed to get out of Mal's dad being Hades? I would have liked it a lot better if Mal's dad was just some unknown person, okay? Like, I just didn't like how we don't know the rest of the kids' parents. They were like just random regular people out there on the aisle. Why couldn't that happen with Mal's dad? Like, or Mal's dad could have been an Ordon man or something. It was just not good. I just was not a fan of Hades and his story arc here. Hades was a deal, I'll give him that, but like, no. Descendants 3 is one of the worst dcoms in history. I agree. It is. People was getting mad at me, but Descendants 3 is so damn lazy. Like, it's so freaking lazy and it makes no sense. Absolutely. Like, it's not good. Like, the thing about it is that like Descendants 2, the reason why I dislike it more than I dislike Descendants 3 is because Descendants 2 was more of a letdown, and then when I went into Descendants 3 I had no expectations, but Descendants 3 was just so lazy and so stupid, and like I can see why the cast looked like they wouldn't want to be there. They even knew they was in a stupid ass movie too. I get it. I completely get it. Like, it just wasn't good. Okay, they didn't need to make Mal the protagonist. I agree. Mal could not carry. She could not carry. And Ben x Mal ship shouldn't exist. I strongly agree. It's a word and toxic because of how this couple is toxic to each other, and this normalizes that men can be a-worded by women and somehow romantic and girl power and making the men feel guilty because of it. I made like 2 videos about like Ben and Mal's relationship. I have a lot of videos where I have discussed like the main issues with Ben and Mal's relationship in general, but the main reason why like Ben and Mal's relationship doesn't work, because you know we all know that they got together over drugging. I have said this numerous times. I will never stop letting y'all know that Ben and Mal got together over a drug cookie, okay? I will never stop letting people know that, okay? Like, somebody had told me, they were like, I may not know nothing about Descendants, but Harriyanna told me that there was a drugging scene in there, and I'm stuck on that. Yeah, like, that relationship was doomed for the jump because of that right there. They should not have been together whatsoever. Like, Ben, for the most part, like I said, he was wrong for what he did to Audrey, but Ben was already in a horrible situation because Ben was basically in an arranged marriage with Audrey, and he like didn't want to beat her no more, and he thought the best way, like, Ben is young, we gotta remember he was a kid. We have to remember that like teenage boys make stupid mistakes and things like that. Instead of talking that out with his girlfriend, he ended up going and getting a new girlfriend, and he used that to like his advantage, and now he's stuck with somebody that don't fucking listen and needs help. Like, and it's just annoying because I feel like Ben could be out here getting Mal help, but a part of me feels like Mal's not wanting to get the help that she needs. Ben and Mal should just not be together. They're 2 people with a lot of issues, and 2 people with a lot of issues shouldn't be together, okay? Ben has a lot to do with, like, you know, he was in an arranged marriage. His parents put so much pressure on him running a damn kingdom at like 16, 17 years old. And Mal has like so much trauma that has made her a horrible person that she need to work on. Ben and Mal, it's a hard no for me. They shouldn't have gotten married. Like, it was really stupid. Like, I understand that, like, in Disney World, teenagers get married all the time, which I really don't agree with. But Ben and Mal, they're both immature as hell. And that neither of them need to get married. Because marriage is, like, a real big responsibility. Along with running a kingdom, along with running, like, a country, it's, If Descendants is going to have more movies, they should either focus on a new set of characters or keep the old characters and have them have the show be animated with new voice actors. I agree. But think about it is that what sold Descendants is that it was live action, y'all. Like, Descendants, I'm gonna be real, Descendants would not be that popular if it was animated. Like, it would get a different crowd if it was animated. Let's say that, okay? Descendants, they need to focus on some new characters in these new movies. We are done with the core 4 and the C3. Give us some new characters, okay? Because y'all already did really horrible with their storylines. Just go ahead and try again with some new characters, okay? I'm not sure if they're Disney. To be honest, Disney Channel needs to do like original animated movies. Like they did it with Kim Possible. They did it with Phineas and Ferb. Y'all can do it with Descendants, okay? Because when we saw like the Descendants art style for like, you know, the royal wedding, I never watched the whole thing because no, why would I go to Mal's wedding? Why would I do that? But I mean it when I told y'all I was not going. I didn't even watch it still to this day. It would look really cute if they did it like that. Like, I'm honestly kind of worried for them 2 movies because I'm gonna be like, y'all got the chance to fix all the stuff you fucked up in the first 2 Descendants movies, and if you're not gonna fix it in these next 2, what is the purpose? Okay, Jay should have been ooh, that's an interesting take. Jay should have been Gaston's kid instead of Jafar's. Think about it. Jafar is a magic user, and what about Jay is magic? Plus historian D1 could have made more sense if he was Gaston's kid. I agree. Like I said, Jay, they don't know what to do with him. They don't know what to do with him. And I know Shelby has said something earlier. I'm gonna read that too right now. Gil and Jay should have been a canon ship, and I think that's an absolute ripoff that we got teased with them, but nothing else happened when there was no other LGBTQA relationship on a Disney Channel. Yeah. Okay. Both Jill and Gil, not Jill, isn't their ship named Jill? Jill. Neither of them, they didn't know what to do with either of these characters, okay? They barely did shit with Gil when he was with Uma and Harry. He was just kind of like the slapstick comedic relief character. And Jay was just kind of there to look pretty. And finally, in the last Descendants movie, one of the best moments that we got was when we got to see Gil and Jay bonding with each other. And they could have did something with that, but they didn't. Like I said, that movie is so bad for no reason. That movie is so bad for no reason. And a lot of that, honestly, kind of came from the actors for the most part. The actors did really well with the material they got with like the Jill and the Jill scenes. That's what I call them. It's just, it's bad, y'all. It's so bad, okay? And yeah, y'all know Disney homophobic. Y'all go read Jay and Gil fanfiction, okay? There's so many fanfiction writers that write great LGBTQ stories for a lot of y'all favorite stories. Y'all please go read them. They really deserve your support and recognition. The movies in general were mid. I agree, they are. One thing about Descendants is that most of the fans, we are aware that it's horrible. Like, y'all know me, I love Descendants, but I'm gonna admit that this shit is not good. We love the characters, we love the aesthetic more than we like the actual show. It's like Miraculous Ladybug. We like the characters and we like the aesthetic more than we like the show because of bad writing. Uma should have been the main character. I agree, but at the same time I don't, because the thing about it is that like Uma would have been a great main character because she can carry. Mal couldn't carry. I'm sorry, she couldn't. Like, I remember I made a post and I was like, which Descendants character carry? And everybody was like, anybody but Mal at this point, okay? Mal could not carry. Evie carried the first movie, okay? Uma carried the second. Uma and Harry carried the second along with Evie, and then the last one, we ain't gonna talk about that, okay? Because it looked like the whole cast didn't want to be there, and I get why they look like they didn't want to be there because it was fucking terrible, okay? But Uma proved in the second movie that she can carry. Mal couldn't carry, so I get what you're saying. Descendants 3 could have been longer and gave us Oridon's reaction to the new VK's life with all the villains roaming free. Descendants should have been a series. That's why I said the first movie could have been fleshed out a lot better, but then it would have been too long for Disney Channel standards. Because when you look at it, Descendants is honestly one of the longest Disney Channel movies out here, like compared to the other ones. A lot of these Disney Channel movies only like 70, 80 minutes long. Then you look at Descendants and that shit is like over 100 minutes. And I'm like, is this what we doing? I didn't even know Disney movies was that long anymore at this point. But the movie, the thing about it is that it would have been fleshed out a lot better if they had more time, okay? Because you gotta remember, with movies, you're really limited to how long and how much you can do. I feel like there's so many deleted scenes in Descendants that would have made stuff a lot better, but they had to cut it out for the sake of time. Descendants just would have worked better as a show because you had this big grand. The thing about it is that it could have been like a Harry Potter situation where they made like 7 movies. It was just not fleshed out great enough. Let's just say that, because the time limit that they were given. Descendants had the best plot, but Descendants 2 had the best soundtrack. I agree. The first movie, in my opinion, is best story-wise, but when it came to the musical numbers, I think the second one was pretty strong. And the songs in the third movie had to grow on me a little bit, but the musical numbers were not all that great. Outside of Queen of Mean, that musical number slaps. That is visually great and it is a great song. The rest of the musical numbers was just not it. I love One Kiss. One Kiss was just awkward though. It's a cute song, but the scene was just weird, and the intention for one. The main reason why I think the first movie was the best, like in terms of like plot, is because with the second and the Descendant, they realized that like the musical numbers is what got a lot of people sold on the first movie. So in the second and the third movie, they focused more on musical numbers and music than they did plot, and it really suffered a lot. And the first movie, it was a good balance of music and plot. They focused a little bit more on plot here too, because the songs weren't all that memorable in the first movie. But I completely agree with you coming from. Y'all all know the first movie is my favorite movie out of the 3. So yeah, I'm a first movie stan. Like I said, the first movie is one of my favorite movies of all time. So the movie shouldn't have been musicals. I strongly agree. Like part of the reason why a lot of people didn't really want to take Descendants seriously in the first place was because of it being a musical and it had them goofy ass songs in there, okay? But I'm gonna tell you, the thing about it is that I think it would have worked better if it was like a jump in situation where they still had a soundtrack but the music was just like played in the background of it. I think that would have worked better for Descendants. Like the cast could have still sung the songs and whatnot, and the music could have been played in the background, but them actually singing and stuff, that's so much time that they spent like, you know, doing the musical numbers could have improved a lot of the storylines, okay? Because a lot of the musical numbers didn't really move along the story. And Descendants, that's just something that I've noticed. That's just something irritating about the films that got on my nerves. But it's just not, it was just not good. They should not have been musicals whatsoever. But the thing about it, the main reason they were musicals is because you gotta remember, Disney is made for kids. And kids love music, okay? Like, soundtracks sell. Why do y'all think there's so many damn songs up in the Phineas and Ferb show? Like, why do y'all think there's so much music in that? Because kids will buy if you add a soundtrack, people would buy that. They would spend more money on that, okay? The purpose of the Disney Channel musical is to make money, y'all, okay? I have talked about the history of the Disney Channel musical in my Camp Rock video. But the purpose of the Disney Channel musical, the main reason why Descendants was a musical in the first place is because they knew if they added music into the story, they can make more money off of it. Okay, next. They should have only made one movie, since the concept to me kind of falls apart after they're not villains anymore. I get where you're coming from with that. The thing about it is that, like, when I found out they were making a second movie, I was like, yay, hooray. But I thought they were gonna focus more on other kids coming to Oregon too. That would have worked out a lot better. So I understand where you're coming from with that one. And Evie deserved a better friend than Mal. Literally, go watch The Progenies, y'all. Go watch The Progenies. Go. I put Evie and Mal's relationship in a very more realistic light, okay? Evie, baby, girl, they shouldn't have been friends from the beginning, because Mal literally ruined her life back home. The main reason Evie became friends with Mal in the first place is because she was the only person there. She was the only person that could understand her situation. Mal was the only girl that came to Oregon when they all moved there. That's the main reason why Evie is there. Evie is good. Evie don't need her. We see that Evie get along well with a whole bunch of other Oregon people. Evie loves Oregon. She fits into the environment well. The only reason she really still friends with Mal is because they came from the same place. There's no reason for them to be friends. And then Mal continued to disrespect her. She continued to treat her like shit. She was not a good friend to her. Like, no. Like, y'all need to stop trying to say, y'all don't ship Malby, because no, we don't like Malby because we know Evie deserves better. Okay, making the dog talk was stupid. I agree. I hate that scene so much. I hate the damn talking dog in Descendants. It is not good. It is really annoying, okay? The thing about it is that Descendants threw so much stuff in here because they were aware that they had that teenage and adult fan base. They threw so much stuff in here for the younger kids to remind everybody that this is a movie for young kids. And I just don't get the point of the dog talking. It didn't contribute shit to the storyline, and it was just annoying, and it just made it look really goofy. Distracting idea that should have never made it out the writing door. I agree. They should have never made the dog fucking talk. Like, I hate that scene so much. I literally like walked out of the room when I watched the second movie for the first time, like during the day of the premiere, because I realized how stupid it was. They could give the conversation Carlos had to Jay to strengthen the character development and bond as brothers and give the kids positive role models of God friendship. Yeah, like that relation, those stupid scenes where like Carlos was talking to dude, he could have been talking to Jay. Like, they could have done so much more with Carlos and Jay, and they didn't. Like, and the thing about it is that a lot of people ship Jay and Carlos romantically. I do. Like, I literally made them boyfriends and the progenies. But the friendship was lacking. The friendship was extremely lacking when it came to Carlos and Jay. Like, we could have saw a nice, cute friendship with them, but they focused so much of the story on that purple-headed demon. Like, it's just annoying. It's just bad writing. Like, it's annoying because Descendants really didn't know what to do with Jay and Carlos's character, and I think Jay got the worst end of the stick with that. Like I mentioned, that they didn't know what to do with Jay. Hello. They didn't know what to do with Jay for the most part, and Carlos just ended up getting really shitty storylines. Like that entire thing where he ended up, they threw him in a relationship with Jane, and we saw nothing of that built up. Like we saw them dance together, and like I made a whole video about it. I have so many Descendants videos, but we saw them dance together at the end of the first Descendants movie, and then in the book, he mentioned that he did like Jane. A whole bunch of people didn't read them books. I know a whole bunch of y'all reading this right now didn't read the books. That he had feelings for her, and then they just threw them together in the second movie, and we didn't see nothing built up for that. And then in the third movie, and then they had him talk to a dog, and then in the third movie, it was just stupid. Like Carlos and Jay in general, they could have done so much more with those characters, but like I said, they wanted to spend so much time focusing on the purple-headed menace to society. That's why we didn't get that. Chillin' Like a Villain is the best song. It slaps, but it ain't my favorite. But I see you. I see you. Why are Ben and Mal even getting married? They're like 16, 18, and they really wanted to do that. They could have gave us a time skip to their 20s or 30s. I agree. I thought it was really stupid of Ben and Mal to get married. Like, Disney Channel don't seem to get that. Like, a lot of kids that watch that network are very young and very impressionable. They gonna think that they can go ahead and get married at like 17 years old. No, you cannot do that. Like, you barely know you at 17. You are still trying to figure, your life hasn't even begun at 17, okay? Okay. Descendants, it's very fake. We all know that this is fake. We know that this shit don't exist. But it's just annoying because they were just so sold on this idea of Ben and Mal getting married. And I don't know. It's obvious that the main reason they made Ben and Mal get married is for money, okay? They wanted to sell toys, okay? It was for money. It was for profit. We are aware of that. The purpose of Descendants was to make money in general. We know Descendants is a cash grab. Like, the Descendants wedding was just a giant cash grab too, okay? It was just really stupid. It just wasn't a good decision in my opinion. And then, shocker, are we surprised that the royal wedding wasn't even good? No, it was just a cash grab. They made Ben and Mal get married to make money. Like, it was stupid. Like, I don't even like how he proposed to her in the third movie. I almost fell out like Audrey did too. Like, are y'all serious? No. Uma should have been a queen of the owl instead of Mal. I strongly agree, because Mal didn't care about nobody but herself. She was a selfish fucking bitch. Like, y'all know I don't like Mal, okay? But Uma, even though Uma did have a bit of an attitude problem, I love Uma, but I still have my critiques about her. She genuinely did care about the people on the island. She did want better for them. Mal did not. Mal was just terrible. There should have been 2 movies. They ruined it with that last one. They low-key ruined it with that second one too. I get it. That last one was, like I said, it's just lazy. That's why in the Progenies I wrote out the last movie. The last movie, if y'all watching the Progenies, by the way, the last movie don't exist. This takes place after the second movie. Because even though I do have a lot of issues with the second movie, including pacing, it did introduce a lot of great characters. Like, Uma, Harry, Gil, I loved them, okay? But, oh Jesus, that last movie was just a slap in the face to, like, Descendants fans. Like, even kids don't like that movie. Like, I know somebody that told me that they were talking to some kids about Descendants, and they all were talking about they didn't enjoy the third movie. It's like the Cheetah Girls all over again, how everybody enjoyed the first and the second movie, but nobody liked that third one. Mal wasn't even that good of a character. Y'all already know, I don't like Mal. Descendants 3 is good. You lying to yourself. And last one, ooh, I like this one right here. Evie and Ben would have been cute. They had so much more chemistry together than Ben and Mal, in my opinion. I strongly agree. I think Ben and Evie should have got together, in my opinion. Because Evie, y'all know the purpose, like, Ben needed, like, y'all know the purpose of, like, you know, Ben being queen. That's why they wanted Audrey to be queen in the first place, and they wanted her to marry him, is because they knew Audrey would be fit to run the kingdom. Mal was not fit to run the kingdom, but Evie was. And Ben and Mal, they were just bland. They had no chemistry whatsoever together. But Ben and Evie had lots of chemistry together. And like I said, I blame that on the actors right there. I love Ben and Evie so much together. Like, Ben, I love him the most when he's with her. They were just so cute. They could have had something so beautiful. Like, I am BB Hive. I am big BB shipper over here. And honestly, Evie was a lot more respectful to Ben than his own girlfriend was. Like, Ben's girlfriend, Mal, I keep calling her, because I don't like her, I be calling her Ben's girlfriend. She had no respect for Ben whatsoever. But she didn't deserve either of them, in my opinion. She didn't deserve Evie as a friend. She didn't deserve Ben as a boyfriend. I think Ben and Mal, no, Ben would have worked out so much more with Evie. He had more chemistry with Evie than he did both Audrey and Mal. Like, it was just not it. Like, I think Evie would have been fit to be queen, because Evie wanted that. Evie wanted to be at Ordon. She didn't want to be over there in the hood. She wanted to do better. Evie most definitely, and it's weird because when she arrived at the Owl, you thought that Ben would have been going after Evie instead of Mal. By the way, Evie, like, went up to him and everything like that. Like, it's just weird. But in conclusion, Ben should have been with Evie. I could make a whole long 20-minute video about why I think Ben should have ended up with Evie instead of Mal. Because, no. In conclusion, also, Ben would have been off better if he ended up with Carlos too. Like, no, Ben had better chemistry with almost everybody than Mal, okay? He had better chemistry with Carlos. He had better chemistry with Jay. He had better chemistry with Uma. Like, he had better chemistry with freaking Harry. Like, him and Mal just did not work whatsoever. But in conclusion, thank you guys for watching this video. That concludes the rant, the end of this long unpopular opinions videos. Like for more unpopular opinions videos, because I like doing these. These are genuinely really fun, and it makes YouTube feel a lot more fun for me. But if you like this video, please make sure you subscribe and hit that thumbs up, and leave a comment down below about what you thought about this entire thing. It was really fun, and I really like doing this. You guys want to know another way you can support me? Hit me up on Patreon. Most expensive tier is $5. The cheapest is $1. Also have a buy me a coffee link and a Ko-fi link. Those are all my donation links there below. Also have a store. I have a merch store called harriyannahook.com. I have new fun stuff coming up for this Black Friday, and I cannot wait to drop that right there. Okay, you guys can get this black nail polish that I have on, okay, and also both of these necklaces right here. Okay, I gotta get on my tippy toes. Box that says Bugaboo. This is my Miraculous Ladybug one, and then this is also my Descendants one. It's my Harry Hook necklace. It's my signature necklace right there. You guys want to know where you can support me for free? I mentioned it already, but I have a web series called The Progenies. It's a Descendants fan series. It is race bent. Okay, so everybody in Descendants that look white, they ain't white over here. But I'll have a link to that down below. Please check that out. Please watch it. We work super duper hard on this show right there. And by the way, if you want to keep up with me, another way you can support me for free is just to follow me on everything at Harriyanna, HARRIYANNA. I'm on everything, literally Goodreads, Letterboxd, Wattpad, AO3, Pinterest, Instagram, Tumblr, and Twitter. Thank you guys for watching, and y'all, I filmed 5 videos today, and like 3 of them are like over like 30 fucking minutes, and I'm so tired. I'm exhausted. Thank you guys for watching. I genuinely do appreciate you guys, and I just hope you guys can see all the hard work that I put into my channel and things like that. I genuinely do appreciate those that do understand how much hard work I put in here. I'm really tired right now, so I think I have expelled all of my energy that I had left in me today. You guys can hear it in my voice. Like, my voice gets really hoarse when I'm really tired. That's why in a lot of my videos I've been making my voice has just kind of been different. But I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a good night.
'Cause I work hard to get to this point in my life. I'm blowing up, so don't hate, just congratulate.
The Powerpuff Girls will just blow your mind. Buttercup like villains 3 at a time. Bubbles will smile while kicking your butt, and Blossom will lead them out of their rut. Cherish and Powerpuff, 2 of a kind. Both wanna save the world before bedtimes. From Townsville, Memphis, New York to LA, the Powerpuff Girls are just here to stay. They coming through and fighting, and everyone they shocking. You know no one can stop them all because of the chemical X. They coming through and fighting, and everyone they shocking.